The road's basic path wasn't picked by people initially. It was literally carved out, what, 15,000 years ago by glacial meltwater flowing south.
Yeah, precisely. Meltwater from the Ronkonkoma Moraine just gouged out this natural north-south valley. So geology basically laid the groundwork.
And people naturally followed that path. The indigenous communities, the Secatogs and Sampwams, they used it for moving with the seasons. They called it the Sumpwams Path, which means straight walking. That's perfect.
It really is. And when colonial settlers came, they didn't, reinvent the wheel. They just adapted that existing path. It became their ox cart route, mostly for hauling salt hay from the marshes, for their livestock, basically. So very agricultural beginnings.
A lifeline for farming. But then technology arrives and just flips the script. The Long Island Railroad.
Absolutely. The LIRR reaching Deer Park in March 1842, that was the game changer. Suddenly, this isolated farming area is connected directly to New York City markets. Isolation. Gone.
And the impact down south in Babylon must have been huge. You mentioned it turning into a Gilded Age resort, the jumping-off place for Fire Island. Wait, that Argyle Hotel in 1882, it had 350 rooms.
Wow.
Seriously.
350 rooms. It was enormous. A proper destination resort. But that era didn't last forever, of course. Fast forward a bit, and that little road, even after they paved it with concrete in 1922, it just couldn't handle what came next.
Which was the post-World War II boom.
Great.
I saw that statistic. The town of Babylon's population, it grew by, what was it, an incredible 485% between 1940 and 1960.
485%, yeah. Almost 5 times the people in just 20 years. You can imagine the strain. That old concrete road, completely overwhelmed almost overnight.
And that pressure leads directly into the big conflict, the proposed Babylon-Northport Expressway, NY 231, in the 60s.
Exactly. Peak car culture thinking, Robert Moses era stuff, The state basically said, we need a massive 14-mile, 6-lane highway right through here.
But people didn't just roll over. The community fought back.
Oh, absolutely. This is a real textbook case of community action winning. The local opposition was fierce. There was one public meeting, I think, in 1960, and a petition came out of it with over 1,400 signatures saying, no way. They didn't want their towns cut in half.
1,400 signatures back then? That's a lot of opposition. And it worked.
It did. It took time, but the full expressway plan was officially abandoned in 1982. They had built a piece of it, though, the southernmost 2.6 miles or so.
So what happened to that orphan stretch of highway?
Well, it took on a whole new life. Since it wasn't going to be a through route, that wide multi-lane section became like the spot. For decades, the 70s, the 80s, it was known as a premier cruise strip, a mecca for young people, hot rods, muscle cars. It became a social scene.
That's amazing. Failed infrastructure becomes a cultural hub.
Yeah.
So the road we see today, this long commercial corridor.
Yeah, it evolved into that. And that identity was really cemented in 2008 with the opening of the Tanger outlets at the Arches. Huge development. That kind of locked it in as a major regional shopping destination.
So summing it up, Deer Park Avenue really does show you Long Island's story. It's shaped by water, then paths, then rail, then the idea of a superhighway.
And always that tension, the big plans versus what the local communities actually wanted or needed.
Right. The highway they didn't build tells as much of the story as the road itself.
Exactly. And maybe that leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. That Babylon-Northport Expressway was stopped by people saying no? So look around your own area. Is there a big project planned? Could it become the next unbuilt monument to what the community decides? Something to ponder next time you're stuck in traffic.